Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. Today we're moving on from the slow, methodical Iron Warriors to a different kettle of fish entirely. The fast-moving, hit-and-run terrors of the White Scars. In their gorgeous white armor and incredibly cool Mongolian aesthetic, the White Scars are honestly an awesome legion to consider if you like totally controlling the pace and the flow of the battle, and being able to run an army made up of nothing but bikes and other fast-moving vehicles. And being the recipients of the newest Primarch model, they have a genuinely gorgeous set of models to collect as well, so all in all, they do seem to be a real winner for anyone that is considering dipping their foot into the heresy. But what about their rules? What can the White Scars actually do on the battlefield? Well, Warcom have shown us one of the unique White Scars Rites of War, and these are, for those of you that don't know, essentially similar in a way to the 40k Armies of Renown in that they provide a somewhat focused, unique way to build your army, with certain units gaining particular benefits and buffs and advantages that really make that associated playstyle even more, not necessarily powerful, but more fluffy and more fun. So in narrative games especially, they can be a really cool addition to try and test out specific army styles and try out new ways of playing your chosen legion. The one we see today, the Chogorian Brotherhood, allows not only Sky Hunter, that's the jet bikes and Outrider bike squadrons, to be taken as troops in this detachment, meaning you can run an all-mounted bike style list if you like, which is straight away super cool, and as a Ravenwing player I am always happy to see pure bike armies, and means that you can forego those slower foot infantry units that just don't move quite fast enough for someone that plays the White Scars. In addition to that, Sky Hunter and Outrider squads can also be taken in elite slots. So again, if you do feel the need to add even more bikes and you've run out of troops and fast attack slots, use your elite slots to pack even more into your list. It's not all doom and gloom for the infantry though. This rite does help them out a little bit. It lets your infantry units gain the outflank rule so they can at least attempt to keep up with your fast moving bikers. And what I really like about this rite is that it doesn't give you any outright power buffs. It's not giving you, +1 to hit or reroll charges or something like that we might see in 9th edition Armies of Renown. But what it does let you do is it lets you play around with the Force Org of your army, and in Heresy and way back in 6th and 7th edition, those kind of abilities and buffs and army changing mechanics were really quite powerful and allowed you to run and build a really fluffy, really flavorful list. So I am actually all for the specific rites for each legion to be more army organization focused rather than just being something that hands out flat buffs all over the place. I think it will help them to stay fluffy and cool and fun to play with, and still making them fairly powerful. Like having an all-biker army is certainly going to give you an advantage in some games, but it will allow you to play a specific army without it becoming a must-take option compared to just the bog standard force organization chart. So I think all in all, I do really like this rite. I think it is going to be a very popular one because people do like playing all biker armies, and I do think that if you are a White Scars player and you want to go all in on that fast moving mounted kind of spearhead list, you may well be running this rite most games, if not all of them, but it doesn't give you a flat out power advantage over just running a regular standard infantry style White Scars list either. We also got to see a White Scars Warlord trait born to the saddle, which not only gives your Warlord, but also all cavalry units in your army with the White Scars special rule a 4-up invuln save against dangerous terrain tests, and they can flat out ignore difficult terrain. So this trait with the above rite is just going to mean that your biker army is going to be almost impossible to slow down, and you're just going to be able to ride around traveling over almost any terrain without worrying about it at all, and it's just going to make your army frankly terrifying to try and get to grips with and counter for your opponent. All of your bikers will be up in your enemy's face, charging and riding around, grabbing objectives and killing enemy units, and it's just going to be like you're playing a river of water. I think it's going to be such an awesome sight to see, and it's going to be so much fun to play with. In addition to that, the Warlord trait lets your army make an additional reaction in the enemy's movement phase, so again it's just a bit of utility, disrupting your enemy's plans in the movement phase, helping you to control their mobility even more, which you can use to make your great mobility even more advantageous over them, and it's going to really allow you to just let your bikes run rampant and completely overwhelm your enemy's lines of defense. I think in general, I am really hyped about the White Scars from what we've seen here. We don't get to see as much of the quote-unquote power of the Legion like we've seen with the Dark Angels or the Emperor's Children or the Iron Warriors, but it is great to see just how these armies are going to be so flexible and changeable and so different with their unique rites of war. And I think, as I said, if you do want a fast-moving biker-style army, then the White Scars are going to be incredibly powerful to play with and incredibly scary for your opponent to try and catch in combat. It's going to be an absolute nightmare for your opponent to try and deal with just having all of those bikes on every front, everywhere on the board, just riding around, pretty much ignoring terrain and just getting into combat whenever they feel like it. It's going to make them incredibly appealing for players that like White Scars or just fast-moving armies, I think. But what do you think of the White Scars? What do you think of this Chogorian Brotherhood Rite of War? Do you think it will see much use, or will you still be running a mainly infantry force with your White Scars? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.